Hi, welcome back. Good morning, good evening, bonjour, bonsoir. um, Good to be here with you. Lovely to see everyone saying hello in the chat. Hi. So this month of May, we've been shooting a lot of videos with our Sophia Circle leaders. I'm a bit of a hot mess this morning. I think my hair was just sticking out. Right after Austin, like, wow, I cannot believe how much content we're creating and how much is moving and shaking after Austin, especially after we get back we're preparing now to go to Paris. So there's just a whole lot going on. So thank you for your understanding. And I'm really looking forward to our conversation today about strength and courage, which is our topic for May. Good morning, Stephanie. So we're going to be reading from the Sophia Code. Yeah, my hair is still sticking up. What's up? Yeah, awesome. Oh, thank you, Marisol. I appreciate that. She's like, your hair looks nice. I'll take the win this morning. Seriously. And we have Rue here. Rue's kind of pacing back and forth underneath me. So just know that Rue is in the house today. So I'm wearing the Mother Mary pendant because our reading is going to come from the Mother Mary chapter today. And I am going to be reading from page 164 in the Sophia Code. And thank you, Katie. Yeah, what my team had selected different sentences from the Sophia Code that contain the word strength and courage. And when I read this particular passage, I thought, this is the one for today. So if you want to read in the Sophia Code with me, I'm going to be reading from on page 164, paragraph 2. And it's just one sentence. It's a long sentence, but we're going to read maybe the last 2 sentences. No, we'll just read the whole paragraph because then it'll put it all into context. So page 164 in the Sophia Code from Mother Mary's chapter, feel free to read along. Many angelic signs and messages were sent to my mother, Anna, during her pregnancy with me. These are the words of Mother Mary. These messages announce the importance of both my destiny and that I receive extensive training for fulfilling my divine life purpose. With my birth, I stepped into an age of great suffering that was praying for courageous leaders to fulfill the prophecies of the past and create a sovereign future for generations to come. So the word courage here is being presented in context to leadership. I'm going to read that last sentence again out loud. Mother Mary saying that with my birth, I stepped into an age of great suffering that was praying for courageous leaders to fulfill the prophecies of the past and create a sovereign future for generations to come. We talked a lot about this in Austin at our Sovereign Spiritual Leadership Immersive. Rue has decided to be a part of this. Rue, would you like a seat next to me here? Can I invite you to be a part of YouTube Live? Do you want to say hello? Hi, everyone. I'm going to sit down because I need a part of the seat, but you can have part of the seat. Okay, focusing back on this. So why is she sharing this? Well, number one, she's sharing it because as we go on to read in Mother Mary's chapter, that she's paralleling that you are also here to answer prophecies just like she is. She's saying, hey, we're the same. And some of those prophecies are cited at the bottom of page 165, but ultimately, she understands like that pressure that you may be feeling in your divine purpose, that there's something important that you came here to fulfill, that this is an extremely pivotal lifetime. This is a lifetime where your heart you can't get away from listening to your heart. You have to keep coming back to your heart. And because there's no running away from it in this lifetime. There's an intensity to it. And because Mother Mary was born in these messianic prophecies, like, she had prophecies spoken about her as well in the Old Testament of the Bible, one of which was that the Luciferian consciousness of this world would be crushed by the foot of a woman. And that woman was Mary. That was all the way back in a Genesis prophecy about Mother Mary. What is that saying? It's saying that it's actually the divine feminine Christ consciousness that is, ironically, the active principle of awakening and reconciling us with our sovereign divinity, which overcomes all viral matrix programming. That takes a lot of courage to embrace that there is a divine, feminine, creative, intuitive, magnetic, receptive power within you that's here to serve a great angelic mission, just like Mother Mary did. We are here to fulfill the prophecies of our generations that are connected to the Marian prophecies, to the messianic prophecies of Jesus and Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary. So this courage to fulfill the prophecies of the past and to create a sovereign future for generations to come, that's the kind of leadership that you're being asked to identify. Oh, Rue is just really present here with us. One of the prophecies that changed my life was the whirling rainbow prophecy, which we cite in Mother Mary's chapter. And it was the prophecy that these ancient souls would be reborn in other skin colors, other eye colors than how they were known to the people that were native to these lands. When I found that prophecy, I felt like it saved my life, because I knew from all of my previous lifetimes and from my full-blown memories of them, and also from how I wanted to walk in my spiritual journey in this lifetime, that it was really different than what the matrix programming was telling me I was supposed to adhere to. And so when you start to tap into courage, the divine virtue of courage, you're tapping into a virtue that wants to respond and take you beyond the programming that we've, landed into in this planet, that we've come to transform. And today, I mentioned earlier in the week, I have such, oh my goodness. This is pretty slippery. I got this Mary in France. Today, I have 3 cards, and I want us to practice seeing strength and courage within these cards. So earlier this week, I shared about the strength card from the tarot deck, and this is the card I was talking about. So I wanted to ask you some questions. When you see this woman who's covered in flowers, she has like a garland and a laurel wreath around her head. Look at her, she's petting the lion with one hand. Right there. It might be hard to see. And her other hand is like cupping the bottom of the lion's mouth. And it's almost like she's got her thumb inside the lion's mouth as the lion is licking her hand. This is one of my favorite deck cards in the tarot deck. The strength card has brought me so much strength over the past couple of years. And I love that you have this like really grounded 4-paw connection into the earth. And in the background is a mountain, because a mountain doesn't move. And that's the kind of courage that Mother Mary is talking about here. She's saying, you have to be unmovable in your faith and your courage to lead in these times, just like she did. Like, we're living in times of great suffering as well. And so this mountainscape is an embodiment of that strength. It's like you're taking that time to really reflect on what's real for you, and you're choosing to be it, to not move from it. I also think it's really interesting that there's this infinity symbol above her head. And I'm curious if we could play a little game today. What if this infinity symbol, one side was strength and one side was courage? How would strength and courage feed one another? Right? Oh. Let's see if I put this down, you can see how Rue is just, wow, look at that. Rue, you want to say hi? Show them your lioness courage. Yes. So amazing. Whenever I do a live or whenever I'm working, Rue's just like, I am the priestess cat. I'm holding it down. So I was thinking about that this morning. When you access your strength, you're able to move with greater courage in your leadership, in your divine purpose, and in your interpersonal relationships. When you experience a new level of courage, it's going to build the musculature of your spiritual strength, your emotional strength, even your physical strength. How do you feel as though you're being called to embody more strength and courage in your life? Feel free to share in the chat, and I will read your comments out loud. Let's see, Chelsea Kyle is sharing, I'm needing the strength to have the willpower to take courageous action. Yes, so the strength feeds into the courage, and courage is a very fiery divine attribute that's connected to action. I love that. I can't even think of the word courage as something outside of the word action. It's an active principle. Taryn is saying Rue is all about strength and courage. That's for sure. I've seen Rue chase off dogs and every cat in the neighborhood. Jen is sharing, because they're two sides of the same energy, I think. I love that, Jen. Feel free to share any other reflections about that. Chelsea is sharing, building it up, build it to keep upping the ability to take even more courageous steps. Yes, absolutely. Jeff is sharing, ego surrendering to the higher self. Ooh, I love that reflection. That's very powerful. It takes a lot of courage to allow the ego to integrate with the higher self. Kathy's sharing that her Phoenix child kept drawing the infinity symbol during the Austin event. That's so cool, Kathy. What a great reflection. Tess is sharing, oh, I can see that. Two sides of the same coin. Let's see. David is sharing that he is applying strength and courage by becoming transparent in all of his actions. Transparency takes a lot of courage. Ashley is sharing, strength to create more time for my spiritual practice. It does take strength sometimes if you've got things headed in a momentum where you're not creating time for it. Pauline is sharing, I need to be strong again to move out from a place that's not for me anymore. Yes, I love that. Because it does take strength to walk away from what no longer serves you. The strength of a lion or a lioness. And, here's the thing about lions. They don't have a problem with being lions. they're lions. They're just like, I'm a lion. I'm not confused about that. And I feel as though that's, when we look at this card, I love that the lion knows its strength so much that it can surrender into this communion. So much so that this woman's hand is almost in this lion's mouth. And that this woman is embodying so much strength that she can connect with the strength of the lion and trust herself in this connection. Madeline is writing in the strength to speak and to step into using my voice. Yes. Kathy is sharing the strength and courage to choose to stay awake. It does require strength and courage to stay awake, to remain spiritually activated and awake. It's a choice. It's a daily choice. And part of that choosing is having compassion for when you might momentarily fall back asleep. Okay, so this is a pretty easy opportunity to explore strength. But here's another card with a woman on it. Ooh, a lot of the same colors. This is interesting. This is called the Empress card. And it's part of the major arcana. So is strength, actually. And here the Empress is ruling with grace and ease from her throne. I'm curious, can you see the strength and courage that is required for the Empress to be the Empress? Why would the Empress be an embodiment of strength and courage? I'm curious. I want to read your thoughts in the chat. What do you think? How much courage and strength is required to be seen like this? Destine is writing in the strength to be me, the true me, the strength to be my truth. Kristen is writing in the infinity symbol. Matter is neither created or destroyed. I'm eternal. So fear of endings is replaced with courage to follow my soul's guidance. Deanna is writing in, I have an opportunity to change my current place of service in my job. I am seeking my higher guidance for courage to change from what is comfortably comfortable. Chelsea is sharing that she sees the strength and courage in the Empress card to be seen. Brandy is sharing strength and courage to sit on my sacred throne. Yes. Pauline is sharing, sometimes just being a woman requires so much strength. Amen. My goodness, that is the truth. It's like so often I feel like as a woman, we have to work 4 times as hard to prove what, I don't know, society just waves a wand over certain men. And it's just the cultural programming we're breaking through. J&A is sharing because she is a leader. Julie is sharing, it requires an amazing amount of strength to be seen in your light. Stephanie is sharing, she can absolutely see the connection. She is strength embodied. David is sharing, it takes strength and courage to guide and love yourself and others. Cozy is sharing, Empress is divine feminine strength embodied. Oh, these are such great responses. I'm having so much fun. Maitri is to accept whatever comes and answers it with love. Taryn, who's one of our team angels, is writing in the courage to step fully into the wholeness of myself and the strength to embody the divine will and my being in my heart and my leadership every day. Thank you, Taryn. That's so powerful. Kristen is sharing, there's so much courage to be spiritual and abundant. And we talked a lot about that in Austin. There's so much programming in spirituality that somehow spirituality and money are somehow totally separate from each other. So that's a matrix program belief that comes from old paradigm religions, that someone who is embodying strength and courage is willing to walk that vulnerable line in their spiritual leadership and their divine purpose, and understand that programming doesn't have to apply to them, but it does take strength and courage to move beyond it. So I love this last comment from MC. The empress implies intrinsic leadership. Strength is required to just be in that space of authority. Yes, because when you embody your leadership, it's going to do two things. It's going to activate others who want to be in their leadership, which has a whole other activating principles that follow that. And or it's going to trigger those people who are hiding out in victim consciousness and would rather judge someone who's doing this instead of doing this for themselves. And so I love what you're sharing about that the strength that it takes to be, because I'm witnessing how she's sitting, but it's an active sitting. Like it's a fully conscious, aware, like I am sitting on this throne. I am peering into your eyes. I accept that this is mine to embody. This is mine to become. This is mine to share and give and transmit. With that Venus energy, that love pouring through her throne. So powerful. It requires great strength to embody our power. And when we embody, what's interesting for me, the most interesting thing about the strength card is there's a vulnerability here. Strength and power and courage is not separated from your feelings. And that's the final thought I want to share with you today. I had lots of feelings growing up, right on into adulthood, that I knew how important this lifetime was for me individually and for all of us collectively. A lot of feelings about it. And it's not by not feeling my feelings that I step into greater strength. It's because I continue to practice being vulnerable with my feelings, sharing my feelings, noticing what messages they're bringing forward in the embodiment. That's where this communion energy with the infinity symbol, where you get to discover your whole human vessel is the expression of your divine power. Your vulnerability is a part of the strength and the unconditional love that you're here to offer the world. And as you continue to practice this stamina of strength, this fiery energy of courage, you will continue to grow in how to embody this empress or emperor energy, the energy of embodying abundance and prosperity and power, first for yourself, but then for others. Knowing that you're going to sit as a mountain on that throne, just like in this strength card, and not move from that throne. It takes a lot to decide, I'm not going to move from this throne. I'm going to stay here and lead through my embodiment. And those who are meant to be here, I get to bless directly. And those who choose to leave, I bless them to prosper elsewhere. This takes a lot of courage and strength to not move from this seat and allow that which you deserve to come towards you today and every day. Ashley is writing in, Ashley Pepe, she's saying, it definitely takes courage to show up fully into who we are and deserve to be. Thank you, Kaia, for showing up and leading the way. If you are able, can you shed light on how you've moved beyond haters? Well, I talked about that in Austin a little bit. If you are actually making an authentic difference in other people's lives, if you have the strength and the tenacity to show up to your divine purpose, so much so that you start to embody this for others, you bet your life you're going to have haters. People who don't understand you, people who judge you, people who even lie about you or project onto you, people who are, by the way, jealous of you. First of all, we have to understand that that is their wounding, not ours. The second thing we have to embrace is that if you are making a significant impact, that this is actually happening in your life. And by the way, this Empress embodiment is always a work in progress. There's never a destination. Like, even how she's sitting is extremely active. She knows that there is always decisions. There's always next level expansion that she is negotiating from her seat of power, right? So as you come into your own embodiment of this Empress energy, what's important to remember is that it's going to trigger people. You're going to activate people. And if you're genuinely helping people and genuinely making a difference, you're going to know it because there's haters, because people are making up lies about you. And one of the important pieces of stepping even more boldly into your strength is really deciding that you are no longer going to be codependent with the opinions of others to keep, you're no longer going to let those opinions of others to keep you from moving forward, right? You're going to stay focused with courage, this lion of courage, and your embodiment of strength, and you're going to keep stepping up to this plate of embodying your success and embodying what you are here to do. And that was a really big moment for me when my mentor, shared with me. He was like, look, when you have haters, you're making a difference. Bless the haters. What's even weirder about haters is they actually bring more energy and interest to you. Some of my worst hater moments, our numbers go way up. More people find out about us. It's important to understand that when we move from codependency to sovereignty, we get to let people decide for themselves whatever their reality is. We're not here to convince anyone of anything. It's I don't bother dispelling lies because I'm too busy sharing the truth. And over time, people are going to see your strength, that you keep showing up to your spiritual leadership regardless of what happens, regardless of what kind of mud people throw. If you keep showing up in your strength to do this in your leadership, you will prevail. More and more and more and more and more people are going to benefit from what you're doing. And I think it's been one of the greatest healings of my life. And it's something that I'm still working on. But every time I let go a little bit more, I feel the liberation of my own soul's freedom to be who I am, no matter what anyone thinks about it or says about it. That's the blessing. That's the healing for me. That's the healing for us. Every time one of us decides, I'm going to fully be who I am now, no apologies, everyone else starts considering, maybe I should do that too. Yeah, and Catherine Marie is writing the quote from the Bible, with eyes to see and ears to hear. It's people, oh my gosh, Christ consciousness is so controversial because it is asking us to bless the haters. It's asking us to acknowledge all the roles that we're playing for each other. I'm not condoning bad behavior. That's not what I'm talking about here. But it's this understanding that everyone's playing a role for a reason in this cosmic drama that's unfolding here. And this is why the rally call for this year is dragons got a dragon. If you are a dragon, do you think the weird lies, judgments, and jealousies of human beings could even land anywhere in a big, powerful Sophia dragon? Oh my God. This is why we mentor with the Sophia dragons. You want to know when you step into your leadership that you are actually invincible from this hate. That's the journey of Christ consciousness, is the discovery that your unconditional divine love is invincible. And it burns back the darkness, the programmed darkness and the traumatic wounding of this world. And so every time you choose to be strong and courageous, to embody your leadership and your divine feminine Christ consciousness, you turn the wheel of fortune. And that's exactly what's happening for us this year. Everyone's being realigned this year. Everyone's being invited to step into their purpose and to turn this wheel. And part of it is being co-created with your higher self and the ascended masters, your spiritual guides. But the other, there's always co-creative elements. The other co-creative element of this turning of the wheel is your strength and your courage, your willingness to do so. So, for example, producing the Austin event was actually very, very, very challenging. Our team went through a lot to produce that event, and it was such fire, and it was so beautiful, and it was the best event we've ever done. And the channelings, the ceremonies, I am still buzzing from last week. I am still integrating. It was such a huge moment. And one of the messages that came through last week was our willingness as a team and my willingness in my leadership for us to produce this event in Austin, turn the wheel for opportunities to unfold for our community and for this movement that couldn't have happened any other way. So there's always that co-creative grit of showing up with strength and courage to your divine purpose and your leadership that is a part of turning that wheel of fortune, of fulfilling your destiny and showing up to your spiritual leadership. So I know this is kind of a mellow PR daily transmission. We've been filming so many interviews. I couldn't even believe I was going to get online today and do this live, but I just called upon this strength to be here with you. So thanks for being here with me. This was really fun to have this conversation, play this game with some tarot cards, and I love you all so much. And if you have any questions about what's coming up for us in Paris, we're going to be in Paris on June 15th. And we're also going to be in Sedona in August. And of course, Arizona for Love from the Other Side in October. So I'm really looking forward to how many special events we have coming up, including our Sophia Circle Leadership Certification Program that starts in September. And just side note, y'all, I can't even believe how beautiful these interviews are that I'm doing with our Sophia Circle leaders. Oh my God. I felt like it was almost crazy that I had booked all these filming of all these interviews like right after Austin. And it's actually been such a big part of my integration from Austin, because speaking to our certified leaders and really witnessing how much they are embodying their sovereignty to bring the Sophia Code into this world and create Sophia Circle journeys for their communities and their clients. Right after Austin, we in Austin for that prosperity ceremony, we invited our leaders to lead the ceremony. That was a big step. We had never done that before. There's a lot of things we're doing this year we've never done before, because Dragon's got a dragon. And so that was a really big moment for me. It was a breakthrough moment for me as a leader and as a business owner and as someone who's birthed this leadership program that has wanted it to shift deeply into a we. Like, it's interesting. You have to train people to believe in themselves and their own strength and courage enough that they really feel worthy of that opportunity. And that's really what happened in Austin. Everyone took the leap together. We had all been working with the Sophia Code and the Ascended Masters together for enough time that we were integrating our sovereign divinity, that the collective yes was able to happen in a way that I haven't seen yet. And so then to come back to the studio, record all these interviews with our certified leaders, and I'm so excited to share with you here on YouTube. There's just so much relief. I'm like, this movement to activate humanity's sovereign divinity, it's in good hands. And we're going to continue to train leaders and activate leaders into their strength, into their courage, into their embodiment of divine feminine Christ consciousness and prosperity, so that we can all turn the wheel together. And we can all fulfill the destiny that we came here to fulfill, the angelic mission, including the prophecies that were spoken about us and that we are here to fulfill in this lifetime, just as Mother Mary shared in our reading of the Sophia Code today. So I want to thank you so much for being a part of this live. And I look forward to, Alexandra is asking about the ceremony on June 15th. So our team angels can support that question. It's happening in the heart of Paris. I cannot pronounce the name of the venue in a way that I will be proud of on a replay. So we have all those details on my website and on La Code, Sophia.France. So yes, it's happening the evening of June 15th. So our next stop is Paris in June. And then in July, I'm going to do this Wild Dolphin Immersive with our certified Sophia Circle leaders. And then in August, we're going to meet in Sedona, one of my most favorite places to channel on the planet. We're going to do the next level psychic development training, this time for sovereign spiritual leadership. And we saw some pieces of that come through already in Austin. And I got so excited to go to Sedona and channel at that level for our psychic development training specifically for leadership. So you can learn more about that at my website at kaia.com. And of course, my team angels are here to support you if you have any questions. They can get on the phone with you. So, or WhatsApp or whatever, wherever you are in the world, we have a way to get in that verbal communication with you. So, taking in that energy of strength, welcoming in the presence of Mother Mary. We just call forth a mighty blessing for you today, this evening, wherever you are in the world, to feel how surrounded you are in the grace of your spiritual guides, your guardian angels, the Sophia Dragon Tribe, the Ascended Masters, but most importantly, your own embodiment of your higher self, these divine virtues that already exist within you, strength and courage already exist within you. And the more you invoke them and explore them, the more you begin to embody a new sovereign paradigm, a new sovereign reality. And that's where we're headed, folks. That's what we're building with the Sophia Code movement, a sovereign collective consciousness that is capable of downloading and nurturing and grounding heaven on earth. I love you all so much. Namaste.